So we're underway. It's the Rhinos kicking off through Jack Sinfield and bringing it straight back at the lines, Brad Foster. The young Bulls trying to assert a bit of dominance in the opening seconds here at Stanley, but they're going up against a tough Leeds pack. Already has likes of Leon Ruan, Tom Nicholson-Watton, Freddie Brennan-Jones, people that pretty well versed in Rhino shirts, and then Holyfield as well up at loose forward. Nice contact though, and Field and Brennan-Jones riding that contact. Moving towards the 40 with the Bulls, forced to kick on the last, and getting it away is Sam Ackroyd. Down to the arms of Riley Lum, comes in off the edge. A couple of these boys well versed now in the first team. Luca, after that Academy Grand Final win, Riley Lum being one of them. Was that a surprise for yourself?
No, not at all, mate. And I think the way he's carried himself ever since, I think he's matured a lot as a player, especially from when he first came in as a young 16-year-old, and what he did towards the back end of last year, and then a full pre-season this year. It's come a long way. And
obviously those pre-season games will help to get those connections going with, you likes of Jack Sinfield and Lewis Roberts, who's his centre today. I mean, someone of his talent will be good to have someone inside you like that. Speaking as a forward, ironically.
Yeah, he's good, mate. Big Red. He's a great person to have around the place as well. He's new to Leeds and he's slotted straight in, and he's as much one of the lads as anyone.
It's great to see him getting a bit of game time in this reserve side as Sinfield with the little cut gets it back inside. Johnson for Brennan-Jones. The offloads keep coming off for Tom Nicholson-Watton. Just brought down short of the line on the last. Good play though by the Rhinos, getting themselves in a good position to turn the ball over, Luca.
Yeah, I think we'll all be happy with that. A bit of off-the-cuff stuff, but it's a good place when you set either way.
And you always love seeing when a forward drives for the line. It's the sort of thing that, for you yourself, do you strive to, whenever someone puts you in that sort of position, you're like, oh, head down going for the line?
For sure, mate. I think, as a forward, you don't get as many as some of the flash players on the edge. But yeah, they're worth just as much when you do get them.
So with the Bulls coming forward with Harry Gray, turns in the tackle of Ruan and Brennan-Jones, Nicholson-Watton as well, who combined for that nice move earlier, and Lawford kicks to the outside of the boot towards the right hand side. Edgel will just let it drift out of play. Oh, it's good to have rugby back, isn't it? It's the cold nights at Stanley that soon turn warm, but nice to be under the lights at the Arthur Jones Stadium. Leeds with possession, as you can see, 25 away from their own line, and Alfie Edgel takes the ball in another that really shone last year in the Academy's 2 tries in the Academy Grand Final. I think he'll say was a personal highlight.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's been waiting for his chance to get a stage like that to show what he's capable of. But no one was shocked with how he performed last year.
A turnover from Brennan-Jones, just losing the ball. It will be a scrum to Bradford. So how momentum's changing. You said the first opening few minutes dominated by these young Rhinos, almost getting over with that early Nicholson-Watton chance. Now Bradford really trying to come back into their own. A number of exciting young talents, Miles Lawford being one of them. Billy Jowett, another former. For those that Leeds fans will remember Billy playing in the Academy. The under-19s, and he wears 20 tonight as the Bulls with Marcus Green. Good contact though, gets a prop forward down, gets around and plays the ball. Oh, and it's Ackroyd losing the ball. Easy pickings for this young Rhinos side. It's trying to think too quickly and maybe a little bit too cleverly.
Yeah,
and now earns a penalty as well for the Rhinos.
Yeah, compounding there it is. I think they got themselves back into it with a bit of field position, and they've given away a cheap header and followed it up with another one. So down the field the Rhinos come.
It's a game that so quickly can change on momentum, and Toby Warren getting Leeds towards the 30 on a good opening drive of this set. Leeds most of the possession early on. Corey Johnson fends away from 2, goes around, looks inside. Edgell to score the opener for the first try of the reserve season for the Rhinos. None other than Alfie Edgell. Brilliant start for the Rhinos.
Yeah, great from Corey Johnson. He's jumped out and he shot the ball and then showed his class to get past the first line, and then Edge is always pushing through and finished it off for Leeds.
The markers need to be doing a little bit better there, don't you think? To try and granted that was a very strong fend from the hooker.
Yeah, definitely, but I think that's something that he's always going to test out and something he's always willing to do. If you do switch off for that split second at mark, you're probably going to get found out.
So the young halfback stepping up to kick his first of the night. Not a bad angle for him to try and hit this from. Comes with the right, slices it across. Let's have a look at those flags. No, they stay down. Interesting from Sinfield. Can't convert on that occasion. Keeps the score at 4-0 to the Rhinos, but a lively start from Tony Smith's side. Only 7 minutes or so played and already 4 points ahead. Something that will please the head coach tonight. Joined by Chev Walker down on the sideline. So Bradford looking to put that early spell to bed. And with the restart, picked up by Lum, who takes it into the tackle of 3. Been eager, the winger. At some point we'll see his pace, I'm sure. It's Aldridge for Roberts, who's cut off that edge. And who has experienced in the team. Lewis from his time with Lee, also a Welsh international. The ball keeps moving across the line. Jack Smith takes the ball over the 40. Brought down around 45 away from his own line, a couple shy of halfway. There's Johnson at dummy half for Sinfield. Inside ball. Interesting. Look for that option. Didn't look for Ruin, who was running a nice line just outside of him. Looked inside for Edgell, tried to create something. Corey Johnson, a man who does like creating something, does finally give it to Ruin, who's cut down by 2 Bradford defenders. Now on the last with Sinfield. Goes high. Well caught by Adams off the edge, who's met by a host of Leeds defenders who are holding that line quite well, rushing up. Sure there wasn't a chance there. Half chance from the Bulls coming forward, but Leeds' defence really standing up here. Here comes Scully, just sliding to the floor, not really anything on for the centre, as Jack Smith was quickly up at him. Like I said, Bradford looking to put that early spell to bed. Kicking from deep in their own half, trying to pin Leeds back by in their own 20 if they can. Alfie Edgell's there waiting, takes his time to pick up the ball. Shapes to Jack Smith. We know he's running that ball though, Alfie. Takes it in nicely. Now Gibbons skips and then straightens up at the line. Takes a few players with him post contact. It's good to see from a man who usually does play second row, but out and centre, as that's a mistake from Leeds. Smith just coughing up the ball. They noted that one. They were coming forward again quite nicely there, the Rhinos. But it gives Bradford a chance to reply if they can. That's good defence pushing the Bulls man back. But nevertheless in a good position here. Here comes Marcus Green, met by a tackle of Nicholson-Watton and Freddie Brennan-Jones. There's Lawford. That shapes him in on that edge. Gives it to Gray. Now this is more like it from Bradford. They've got their eyes on the try line if the opportunity is there. Out of dummy half goes Camden. Interesting from the hooker, must have spotted a gap or something in there. And another drive out of dummy half two, just short on the fourth. Takes it to the fifth tackle, as signalled by our referee. And another, it's 3 lots of dummy half runs. And Leeds' defence holds up well. Holding them out this time. Camden went again. No opportunity on for the hooker. Leeds' try-line defence just holding up really nicely. Doing what it can. As Lum gets the new set started. For the team in new home kit. Roberts strongly met, but gets a couple of tackles after. Tries to earn a penalty, does earn a penalty from the referee. Lifting him up above the horizontal. It's the only one for the visitors to Stanley to give away. Sinfield kicking it over the sideline. Gets the Rhinos a few more metres. I'll start the set on halfway. We'll go back and replay that one. Warren a little too eager. Referee wasn't quite set. Now he'll have his go, Toby Warren. Instantly met and pushed back to almost where he started the back rower. Johnson for Morgan. Holyfield. Carry from the loose forward into the bullseye. Always makes meters post contact. That's a bit of a hospital pass from Morgan. Sinfield does well to ride the tackle. He keeps himself moving. Finally taken to ground. Morgan cuts back inside. Nothing out on his edge. Decided to be much better taking on that Bulls line. Now it's Johnson for Edgell. Ruin. Made a nice start to this game, Leon Ruin. Leeds looking for an option out on the edge. Sinfield goes high. This will be a tester for Riley Lum, who gets the ball and gets a try. Second try for the Rhinos. Riley Lum rising above Mackenzie Skur. The opportunity was there. The try was scored. Brilliant from the winger. Second try for Leeds. 8 points to 0. Doubles the lead. Kick to come. Now Sinfield with the conversion. And it goes through this time. Make sure it does. This is the man wearing number 7. It takes the score to 10-0. It's much more like it from the Rhinos. Bulls opting for the sort of mid-range restart, easily taken though by Leeds. Nothing too dangerous. Very comfortable under the ball. As Nicholson Watton earns another penalty, a strong drive. Ball ended up being ripped out. Yet again, shooting themselves in the foot a bit, Bradford. Giving away another penalty in a dangerous position. Leeds looking to go for 3 consecutive tries to their name. There's Ruin towards the 20. Johnson directing and marshalling out of dummy half. On for Field. Shapes the ball nicely for Kai Morgan. does make it to 20 metres. Let's see what shape Leeds can throw at this Bradford side now. Johnson goes short side. Edgell for Roberts. Defence comes up and defends against the centre. He's knocked on the ball. Frustrating there for the centre raiser's arm, an apology. Not one that Leeds will have wanted to give away looking at the field position they're in. What they could have created. Starting recording at 14 minutes, Leeds scrum. And so, 2 early tries from the Rhinos, a quick start. Riley Lum, most recent scorer. It must have been really big for the boys to try and get some points on the board early, Luca.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was just a matter of getting into the swing of things and getting in the arm wrestle, and we got a bit of an advantage quite early and capitalised twice now. It's just been a good start.
The boys really stepping up here, though. The reserves competition saw the Rhinos finishing 5th and the Bulls finishing 9th last year. They're really taking this challenge full head on, which is great to see. It's Bradford just short of halfway. Going forward with Marcus Green again. Rolls over the top of Brennan Jones, who has to give himself up and allows the hooker to jump into the backfield, Joseph Kellett. Oh, it's Lewis Camden, excuse me. It comes back to Lawford. Hoists the kick high for Lum in the corner. Safe take from the winger. Might be small in stature, Miles Lawford, but he's a danger on that field, Luke. We were talking about him earlier on. He's a man that can make things work for Bradford today.
Yeah, I think it's important he gets them back into it and kind of dictates and lead them around when they've kind of gone a bit astray recently. As
Gibbons comes off the edge, usually in the second row, Joe, but working and operating at centre today. Another player who's had a great pre-season and will be ready and raring to go. Sinfield cut down by Jaden Myers. A quick play of the ball. Johnson goes out dummy half. On for Edgell, feeds it to Ruin. Gets the offload for Jack Smith. Wasn't needed, really. He was hitting his front. He could have played the ball quickly and... oh, could be seeing what Leeds were doing there, Luca, but I guess a little bit excited from Leon Ruin.
Yeah, maybe a bit of rush of blood, but I think the right signs are there, and it's the first game that the time come. But great from Alfie Edgell, a bit of subtleness in his change of direction there, and he's just opened up massively.
I know he's a big mate of yours, but Joe Gibbons, he's had a really good pre-season, and actually, was he quite up in high spirits and raring to go for this one?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously he had a couple of chances in the friendlies for the first team, playing in front of a decent crowd for the most he's ever played in front of anyone, and it was good for him and he really excelled. But it ain't gone to his head too much. He's still keen as ever to prove everything he's capable of, and I think he'll do so this year.
And he got that try at Headingley's, capping it all off quite nice against the Bulls actually just to know. But back to this one, all eyes on this one. Harry Gray. Getting the Bulls to 30 metres out. Now, trying to really work something here, Bradford. Moving the ball through the hands. Jowett for Myers. Good tackle around the waist from Jack Smith. Gibbons chiming in too. It's Green under the posts. 20 metres out, Bradford. They've had their chances coming, you'd surely think. As Lawford loops the pass, keeps the ball moving out to the edge. It's Will Adams, who's got absolutely nowhere to go, ran himself into a cul-de-sac there. And Riley Lum and Lewis Roberts do exactly what's required and get the winger into touch. But inspiring from Bradford to be showing something up here.
Yeah, it's an improved set for sure. I'd say they may have gone into touch, but they're down the right end of the field, and hopefully they can back it up with a good defensive set for them.
Leeds just wanting to play the ball. And they finally do. Smith out of the back line, Jack Smith. So like we were saying earlier, one of those trio of Leeds players to Signed first team contracts at the back end of last year and also a try scorer in that 18s grand final. There's Johnson at dummy half. Looks left, gives it to Nicholson-Watton, runs it in hard. Hits the floor. He's a player that's definitely developed through this, having this reserves programme. He's got more game time out there as Field looked for the pass, but ends up taking it into the line himself. Good hit by the two Bradford players. As Johnson ducks, darts, he's done this before. There he goes, Corey Johnson. No one is inside, is there? Yes, it's Jack Sinfield. Sinfield for the line. Just short. Inches away, Jack Sinfield, but advantage definitely to Leeds. Edgell shapes, goes himself. Try number 2 for Alfie Edgell. Try number 3 for the Rhinos. Created by Johnson. Sinfield got close. Alfie Edgell close to the line. Who would back him not scoring in that situation?
Yeah, I think Sinny will be pretty frustrated. He didn't get the 4 points himself, but they'll all be equally happy that they got it over the line in the end.
It's another break down the middle, is it, from Corey Johnson? He's really reading those markers really well and using his strength to get through.
Yeah, he's a terrific player, mate. I think he's had a tough time with injuries, but hopefully he can stay on the park this year and can do what he's capable of, as he's shown in the first 20 minutes or so already.
Absolutely great to see Corey back after that injury. As Freddie Brennan-Jones gets a well-earned break, and it gives us a chance to welcome back to action Ben Hersey-Horde, who has been with the Rhinos for a couple of years. Sadly, injuries preventing him from being on the field. Tonight he gets his chance. Great to see Ben out there. More to come from this game. As Sinfield can't convert that time. So score remains 14-0. And Lee's just got a bit of spring in the step now, I feel, Luca. You know what, the half-backs are chiming in really nicely. The backs are getting plenty of metres going forward. The forwards are working hard. What's not to love?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've done anything that's been absolutely unbelievable. I think they've just been good, and they've done what they need to do and pull off a few big plays when it's been on and the time's been right. But I'm looking forward to see Ben Hersey out there today. I think he'll have a massive game, and it's good to see him back.
Absolutely. He's wearing number 15, but this one comes to Jack Smith instantly back into the Bradford line. Sinfield from dummy half, and here he comes, Ben Hersey. Up on quickly by the Bulls defence, and how dangerous he can possibly be in this game. Field, though, with a nice inspired carry. He's messing around a little bit on the floor, but that man Ben Hersey back into contact. It's the power of the mullets today. Both forwards now for Leeds, both wearing that hairstyle. There's another mullet man in Kai Morgan. Nice off the floor pass for Sinfield to make the break into the backfield. Gets away from one. Can't evade fullback Jowett. I could sense a try line today's Jack Sinfield as Corey Johnson goes and gets try number 4. Good work again from the halves. Sinfield and Morgan combining. And this time the creator becomes the scorer. Corey Johnson, well earned.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll just be just as happy with that one as he was when he created the couple. But yeah, he's had an unreal start, and I'm sure he'll kick on and want to do more of the same.
A bit more of a straightforward conversion here for Jack Sinfield, just right in front of the posts. And slots it through, making the score now 20 points to 0. With if not that many minutes, just about 23, 24 on the clock. It's key for Bradford not to drop out of this one now, Luca. Really, muscle up in that defence, not let Leeds really fly high on this one.
Yeah, I think it's tough when you've conceded a few tries early on. Just to reset and get back into it, but hopefully they can do that. Yeah.
Well, they've got the players at their disposal that can do that. We've mentioned a few, we don't want it to go over them again. As the Bulls get the game restarted, go down the middle of the field rather than an edge this time. Edgell just lets it bounce into his arms before giving it to Tom Nicholson-Watson. I keep singing his praises. Smith with a strong carry from the back line. Started deep, as you could see, brought it up nicely. Been met by that Bradford defence. Now Gibbons fancies his go. Off the edge too. Hersey Horde. Just shy of 40 out. Johnson waits, the latest try scorer for Leeds. Fires, quick fire to Sinfield. Now Edgell working the ball nicely for Gibbons. Shrugs off the challenge of the Bulls winger. Will Adams. To one side and Leeds progress. Sinfield on the last. Kicking down towards Jowett. Takes it comfortably before passing for Mackenzie Skur. Just coming off the edge to help his full-back out there, but Bradford back in their own red zone. It's always tough when you're being pincered in there by your opposition, Luca, to get yourself in the mindset. It's where you want a penalty to try and get you out.
Yeah, sometimes, but with the way Bradford have been so far, I think they need to get in the mindset of just get down the other end and do the same to Leeds. Just go set for set for a bit, because so far it's been a little bit stop-start for them.
Not really. It's not as such been penalties, but they're not helping themselves feel position-wise, as Luke is saying. Just big contact as Kellett goes into the tackle of three, including the two Leeds props, Hersey Horde and Nicholson-Watson. Comes back to Lawford, who puts no length on that at all. It's going all up in the air, allowed to bounce by Gibbons, and into the arms of Sinfield it goes. Now for Edgell. It's a searching position for the fullback. It's important that the Bulls don't let him get up to speed, because he is very quick, as we know. Warren. I've seen a lot of Toby with the ball, so he's coming to join in the action. The man who signed for the Rhinos from York City Knights after a good spell, both the reserves and the 18s, Toby. Fitting him right at home now as Roberts earns a penalty. Not what Bradford needed at all. The Bulls accused of stripping that ball away. Sinfield going quickly. Puts it right down in the corner. This is dangerous. Alarm bells must be going now.
Yeah, we spoke about field position, and then they followed it up with a poor fifth tackle option followed by a penalty. They're just shooting themselves in the foot in a minute, and hopefully Leeds will make the most of it.
There's Johnson for Warren. Let's take it close. Possibly not score. He's got 4 players on him and he's still refusing to go down. And then ends up being taken into the in-goal. A clever play from Bradford. Pushes Leeds 10 back, but will it help them any further? Now it's Lewis Roberts for the line. Big Red. Ever ecstatic. Ever a try scorer. It's clever again. Clever short side play from Johnson, reading that despite Leeds having to start that set from 10 metres away rather than 2 where Toby was before, just gives you that space to put a player that's as powerful as Lewis is across.
Yeah, and it may not be the finish he had against Lee in the pre-season, but
very impressive to say.
Yeah, very impressive. He's been listening to me over the off-season and he's learned a bit. But yeah, he'll be just as happy with that one.
Feel like any player's happy with a try, Luca. Anyway, despite how impressive it is.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. I think I can't wait to get one myself, Dan. Hopefully, in the most respectful way possible. This will be the last time I'll be on the commentary this year.
We can't wait to see yourself out there. as we are with all the other teams. We've got the 18s back next week. The 16s not far away either. Leeds Rhinos women too. There's plenty to be excited for here at the Rhinos. As Sinfield, with a difficult conversion. He converted the last one from a similar position when Riley Lum scored. So we'll go again. And then curl it back off that right foot. Let's look at those flags, and they go up. Perfect again from Sinfield, 26 points to 0. As we just approach the half-hour mark. So Bradford going long, down for Leeds, and Ben Hersey-Horde pulling this one back. So back underway, and Leeds inevitably with ball in hand. It's been one of those halves for Bradford so far. It's not been able to compete with the it's in that Leeds side and the experience. When you look at the likes of Lewis Roberts, our most recent try scorer, Corey Johnson, got a couple of Super League games under his belt too. It's promising again for the future. Change though for Leeds. Seen Kai Morgan exit the field, and Bailey Aldridge has come on as Sinfield cops a high one, but still we roll on. Now Johnson goes short side. Ruan, nice run from the back rower, gets himself well into Bradford territory. He's not really one to deal with. Sinfield goes high. Looking for a tester. Up comes the fullback. Good take. Oh, it's Bradford on the break. Is Joe Gibbons going to get back and stop Billy Jowett? Yes, he is. What about the effort from Joe there, Luke? To get back, he's showed a great spurt of pace.
He's got pace for bags, Dan. I still can't believe how quick he is for his size, but he can shift all right. He does the job.
Got through the gears quickly to get the fullback and get him down, but Bradford might have been the momentum that they needed to get themselves on the board. Lawford. Is it off Jowett? Nice wide pass from Mackenzie Skur. But again, the flag from the sideline goes up. It's good defence again from Riley Lum and Lewis Roberts on that edge. And Leeds just looking impenetrable at the minute. Everything Bradford are throwing at them, even off the cuff, they're dealing with. Must be seeing something down that edge though. Every time they're trying to stretch Leeds and work that left side, but why go up against Lewis and Riley? They've stopped Skur now twice.
Yeah, they've thrown some good shape and they've had a few glimpses. But yeah, both times Leeds have pulled through and I managed to get it covered, but I think they'll be just as keen to keep that Bradford score to a 0 as they are put a few more digits on the end of their own.
Well, that's absolutely filthy fend from Leon Ruan.
The Ruinator, Dan, the Ruinator they call him, for that exact reason.
As Hersey-Horde over halfway for Leeds. As Aldridge out of dummy half, on for Sinfield. Keeps the ball moving for Johnson, lets it roll behind him. Don't think this will be... It is pulled up by the referee. I thought they might let it play it on. It looks to be as if it went behind the hooker. Turned half-back now. After the substitution of Kymore, we hope he's okay. Nothing too serious. Just showing his versatility, doesn't it, Corey? Getting into playing between hooker and half-back. Some would say it's nearly the same position anyway, but it shows his range of skills. So scrum to Bradford. Just shy of halfway on the 45. There's Myers, a strong first carry, one of those players, one of those younger first team squad players for the Bulls. Be interested to see how much time he gets under Mark Dunning this season. Not just in the reserves, but for the first team, obviously. There's Arnold with the offload for Foster, just puts him into a heap of traffic. There's not much that you can do there. The prop forward as the Bulls come forward again with Gill. Oh, it goes head over heels. That's going to be pulled back for a dangerous tackle, and not surprised that the players are all rushing in there. So we'll see what the referee decides to do with this one. Not quite sure who the accused is from Leeds who did the tip. So we'll see what the referee does. He reaches for the pocket. Ben Hurst is the man walking forward and goes for 10 in the sin bin. Not quite the way I think he planned his return to action, but a little careless to say the least.
Yeah, just maybe a little over keen to kind of put his mark on the game. But he'll stay out for 10, I'm sure he'll have another crack when he's out there and make up for it.
For now, Leeds are down to 12. And Bradford with the penalty 20 out. Lawford having a look around to see who he's passing the ball to, and ends up in the end giving it to Gill. Pushes it up into the line. Now it's Arnold again. In front of the posts. Bradford with a real opportunity to stretch Leeds if they can. Lawford. Short pass. It was for Gray and it's pulled up again. And Leeds get the penalty. So, yet again, it's a bit like we were saying with Leon Ruin a little bit earlier, that actually Bradford are just caught overplaying Luca. It's a point where you like you were saying earlier, you want them to start getting some possession and start playing down in that Leeds half if they're going to get into this game.
Yeah, it's a fine balance. I mean, obviously they need points. They need points for sure, but with the way the game's gone so far and the way they've shaped up, obviously it's the first day out, it's not going to be perfect, but maybe it would be a bit more important just for them to get back into it and get a feel for the game.
Nevertheless, it comes back for Leeds as Joe Gibbons carries that one in. Now Ruin. Up and over and lands on his front, which is a key to let Aldridge got a dummy half. That looked to be batted, I think, by Bradford, but we'll still wave play on. It's Lawford who's after it. There's Edgel's there. Lawford. Has he scored? He's going for a dropout, they say. So Leeds suffering a that dropout, and Bradford will come again. A chance for another first half for Bradford. Camden that waits at dummy half. Now it's getting the ball in for Foster. Just held up by two Leeds defenders, and the Bulls come out. Ball stripped as the referee. Fresh set now for the Bulls again. Now Leeds getting a little clumsy towards the back end of this half. Tony Smith will have some things to say, but Lawford tries himself and loses the ball himself. Easily picked up then by, I was going to say Alfie Edgell. Brought nicely back away for Leeds.
Come on. Fix again.
A really interesting spell of play there, Luca.
Yeah, I feel like I keep saying it. I feel like I keep repeating myself. They get a chance and then cough it up again, and then follow up with a repeat. A tackle restart. So, hopefully they can, from a Bradford point of view, they can reset at half time and obviously have a bit of a fresh start going into the second half.
Ruin off the back of that big run. Now it's Robinson, fresh off the bench, wearing 17 for Leeds. Plays the ball smoothly for Aldridge. Field fires it for Johnson, on for Edgell. Roberts fends away from the tackle of Skur and cuts back in field. There might be an offload in there too. Isn't just quite. It was very close. He was looking at Bailey Aldridge on his shoulder and saying, "Give me the ball." As Johnson looks for the inside ball, takes it himself. He's been so unselfish in this first half, Corey Johnson. And he also has his try as Robinson turns in the tackle. They just slow it down on the last. It's back to one, says the referee. Sinfield drops it for Ruin, because obviously there was a kick on there for Leeds, but Leon Ruin, it doesn't matter, he'll try for the line. And he's very confident. As soon as he dots the ball down, he gets back up, the referee's whistle goes, it's another try. That's taking it to 30 points. What a first half this has been for the Rhinos attack, especially, Luca.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm sure they'll be over the moon with it. A few little clean areas, which is it's inevitable at this stage of the year. But yeah, I think from Leeds' point of view, they'll be happy, and I think Bradford, they just seem to be getting a little bit frustrated. Like I said, get into half time, reset, go again. But Leeds, yeah, more of the same.
So that set restart, basically right on the try line, that would have just been so frustrating to try and defend against that when Leeds, even when Leeds had nothing on, that was a simple drop-off ball because Ruin wanted to, because Sinfield was looking for the kick.
Yeah, it's stuff like that kills you, mate. They've D'd up and they've kept him out for a set, and just like that, as it gets to the last tackle, they've given him a set restart. Not easy.
Got another straightforward conversion for Sinfield. Just eyes up those posts. It should be straight through. If this isn't the last act to the first half, we did have that stoppage there for the yellow card. Nevertheless, the halfback steps up, easy enough. Through it goes, and that is half-time here at Stanley. A convincing first half sees the Rhinos take a 32-0 lead into the break. More to come in the second half. So back out for the second half. Bradford will be getting us underway shortly. Leeds, what a first half that's been. 32 points scored. 4 different scorers. It's been a trifest at Stanley. What a way to open the reserves campaign. I'm joined back by Luca Atkinson. Thoughts for the second half, Luca? What can we see there? What do you expect our guys to be doing?
Kind of more of the same from us. I think Bradford will probably improve the second half, you'd like to think. So I think it'd be a matter of, almost like I just mentioned, resetting, getting a feel for the second half, see how both teams are looking, and then build from there.
We'll see how those key players, your Jack Sinfield, your Corey Johnsons, that really dominated that first half, how they turn up in this second period. As Robinson with a proper good carry in broad Yorkshire terms. Sinfield on the last. Kisses the nose of the ball with his boot, and it's easily collected by Myers. So there's a Bulls player still left down. He's just receiving a bit of treatment, but Bradford pursue nonetheless. Short play the ball for Skur, who gives us a bit of footwork to get himself towards halfway. Quick play the ball. On for Aidan Scully. Now it's over halfway for Bradford. Skur again. Over the 40. On the last now, Bradford. Where will they be looking? Will they be looking to test Edgell or Lum? will try and put themselves in a better position. The kick hoisted by Lawford, Lum's under it. Just shape to go outside, cut back and inside, goes outside again. Through goes Riley Lum, beats off the 2 tacklers. Can he beat the fullback now? No, it's a good effort from Billy Jowett, who races to get back, knowing his team's down here. Roberts. Leeds have not wasted any time getting back up and running in the early stages of this second half. Aldrich shapes, goes to the right, cuts back to the left for Sinfield. Just again, showing his strength by fending off those Bulls tacklers and hitting the deck. There's Aldridge, the Sinfield, keeping the ball moving nicely. Robinson fends away from 2. Tries to truck them and get as far as he can. Now Leeds with the try line in their sights with Sinfield. Now for Warren, can he twist and get the ball down? Yes, he can. Early try, early minutes. Same record keeps playing for Leeds. Toby Warren, the latest scorer, gets his first of the game. 7 now for the Rhinos. Back just where they started, Luca.
Yeah, I think they displayed a good bit of patience there as well. I think there were a fair few players. A great little bit of link up from the middles, which Ashton, he got up and down, got a quick play of the ball. I think that probably credit that little play in the middle there to the try on the edge.
During pre-season, how have you seen Ashton getting on? Because he's a player that came in mid-season last year, really put his foot down and made a real impact on the team. And now with a full pre-season under his belt, he's looking a well re-energised player.
Yeah, I think he'll have a big year. He's had a great pre-season, and we spoke in meeting the other day, and he got a mention in there and an applause for how his behaviour's changed in the last month leading up to this game. There are a couple of areas he's put plenty of extra time into work on them, and it's earned himself a shirt for tonight's game. And yeah, he's been great. He's been great so far.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Hard work paying off. It's Sinfield with his eyes on the sticks to our right hand side from our commentary position, as he threads that needle very nicely and gets and leads another 2 points. So 38 points to 0. Leeds have been impressive to say the least. Me and Luke have been talking about it now for a while, haven't we? How impressed we've been with how Leeds have attacked this game. Bradford, we've already said we're a little disappointed with how that first half went for them, and how it's really put them on the back foot ever since. And Ben Hersey-Hall just below us as the game restarts. He's going to be due back out on the field after serving his 10 minutes in the sin bin. As Aldridge waits for Robinson to play the ball. So Leeds back up in numbers, got the full 13 out there. They can have as Aldridge spots a gap out of dummy half, almost gets through. He was collarboned, was pulled by the collar of his shirt by 2 Bulls defenders, Kellett being one of them. Now Hersey-Hall, a little bit of footwork, tried to offset those Bradford defenders, but nothing doing. They do a good job. There's now Morgan, wide ball for Lum, doesn't read it, and it goes out of play. I'll be frustrated with that one, Kai. Usually he's so accurate with those kind of passes. A little bit lower than what he thought as well. But one that he might have hoped that Riley had been able to take.
Yeah, I think maybe just a little bit of miscommunication. A few players not too sure, but I think it gives Bradford a bit of an opportunity. I think it'd be good to see them get into this game a little bit, in terms of both teams' benefits going forward.
Absolutely. Like seeing a good contest nonetheless of the scoreline. And Arnold will start doing that for Bradford when he can. Ball keeps moving on for Myers. He's been very busy, manages to get himself back inside as well, and straight back into the middle of the action where Bailey Aldridge gets up and tackles him along with Ashton Robinson. As Kellett moving the ball nicely here for Bradford onto Harry Gray and manages to be taken down under the tackle of Kai Morgan. Now Gill up over into the Leeds 20. This is better now from Bradford as Lawford swings it for Ackroyd. The ball's still. And they're caught in the 10. Where can this kick go now? Ackroyd, will he go to the air? No, he grubbers it, looking to off foot. Well, catch the footwork of Alfie Edgelin. Gets momentum going the wrong way. The fullback does no such thing. It's a good take in the end.
Yeah, a bit of dirty work for him. And as always, he's turned up and he's produced.
He's a man who's not had much to deal with, really, in terms of defensive work, Alfie Edgelin.
No, but it's a credit to him. When the work has come offensively, every opportunity he's turned up, and that's why he's got over the line a couple of times. But yeah, it's good to see him, regardless of how the game's gone. He's still on the ball, defensively ready and alert like he was then. Absolutely,
got to be alert for the full 80 minutes, not just 40 or 60 minutes at that. Sinfield shapes of Ben Hersey, who then shapes off. This is great here from Leeds. On for Warren. This is surely a try. Then get around Billy Jowett. He goes himself. Toby Warren doesn't pass. Now he passes. And in the end, Bailey Aldridge, Leeds got a little lucky. It's end-to-end stuff. He didn't look like he was going to pass there, Toby Warren. Looked like he'd got himself. I think Lewis Roberts might have something to say to him, but nevertheless, the 4-pointer goes across. And it goes under the name Bailey Aldridge. Impressive again from Leeds, just that ability to break in the midfield.
Yeah, it's off the cuff stuff again. I think obviously one of the quickest to play the ball. He tipped it on pretty sharply, and Ben Hersey displaying a little bit of pace that he does have in abundance, and created something and a great finish on the end, as much as Big Red.
Don't know whether he quite expected the ball there, Big Ben.
No, he didn't, and I think after maybe a year out, I think maybe a little bit of rustiness, he wouldn't know what to do, but it just shows that instinct comes straight back, and he's created the try for us there.
Bailey Aldridge, another player who's part of that 18s grand final winning team. We keep saying it, there's a lot of them in this team. Impressive all throughout last year since coming through the club scholarship. Definitely, after playing a few pre-season games too, will be one for you Rhinos fans to watch. Closing in on 44. And you'd expect him to do just that, and he does just that, Jackson Field. It's been impressive, it's been lethal, it's been ruthless. You can't say as Leeds fans you're not enjoying this one. Especially with the first team squad members on show, like your Lewis Robertses, your Corey Johnsons have been very impressive. The young boys giving him a test as well out there. Kai Morgan and the latest scorer, Bailey Aldridge. A couple of the boys that are doing a good job. Bradford opting for a shorter kick than usual. Lum to ride the challenge from Sker. And then hits the deck comfortably. Aldridge for Roberts. Just working those Bradford defenders nicely. Tried to keep his feet as well and finds his front most importantly. Gets a good play of the ball away. Edgell injecting that bit of pace and a little bit uncertainty when he's coming forward with the ball. Does really well to get a couple of post-contact meters too. Down towards halfway. Now Sinfield. A couple of runners that are options to him. Gives it to Ruin. A try in that first half for Leon. And into his tally since he joined the Rhinos from Doncaster in the off-season. Sinfield with a double kick in behind. It's not taken by a Bradford player. It's going to be a simple try. And over he goes. That's Jack Sinfield as well, I believe. A real mix-up at the back from Bradford. Not sure who was going to take that ball, whether it was Sker or Jowett. In the end, the most simple try I think Leeds will score today, Luca.
Yeah, they look simple in the end, but there were plenty of work that went into get into that sort of position anyway. But yeah, a A nice one for Jack on the end of some good work and a good set.
Nice to see the forwards as a forward yourself. Nice to see that they're being nice and proactive. You saw there he had a couple of options. He had Robertson on his shoulder and Ruin's running some nice lines. Toby's now running some nice lines in this second half. It's must be positive for them that they're sort of keeping up the tempo, never mind the score.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger guy just to keep moving and keep turning up, and it's been evident from the big players in there.
Tony Smith, I'm sure, will be pretty impressed with how the Rhinos have performed in this one. So that takes us to just shy of 50. We'll see if Jack can hit this one, take it to 50. Minutes played, and it's the right hand side, and he misses that one. Spoke too soon. Goes to the commentator shown right there. So score makes 48-0. Feels like more time's gone in this half, Luke, than there really has, looking at the time at the minute. And Bradford goes short. Lewis Roberts, man with long legs, say, at least well equipped for that sort of situation.
Yeah, there's probably no one better on the field, something like that. But Bradford a bit frustrating. I think they had a chance to regain position there.
A nice chance as well, as we can see now. Jack Sinfield coming from the field. A good chance to let Tony Smith and Chev Walker down there invent a little bit and try a few players in other positions. So back on halfway, Aldridge for Robinson, who gets a big hit up in the contact. Gets up and plays the ball like nothing's happened. Nicholson Watton back on the field. Tom. His pass is seen as forward by the referee. So a little let off. And Lewis Roberts at that has a little break. He's played well in this half, Luca, but Ben Littlewood coming on the field, another player with promising talent.
Yeah, he's a big frame, and like you mentioned a few times, another one from that 18s Academy Grand Final. He had a big almost breakout year last year for them.
Still the try set up in the semi-final where he offloaded for Bailey to score. It's one of the tries of the season. It was a big one especially against the tough Warrington team.
Yeah, I think you could argue that momentum gave him what it took to go on and win that final. Yeah, he's a big fellow with plenty of potential. So we'll see how he goes out there tonight.
It will be. He still fits that under 18s category, but he's a reserve. Many of these guys. So Bradford with a real opportunity, back-to-back penalties. Gets themselves into the Leeds 20. There's Horner with his hands on the ball. Fresh on the field wearing number 6. Lawford. Oh, a little juggle from Scully. Just wants to take it to ground, and it's Camden that waits at dummy half. Fens sends it off to Barraclough. It's Bradford looking to do this real first test of the Leeds try-line defence. Scully with the ball off that awkward pass in the end, and Warren just launched himself into there. No wonder he stayed down. This could possibly be a leg or a shoulder. Nevertheless, play carries on with Horner. Trying to twist and get his way to the line. Referee's allowing to play on, even though Warren is in the way a little bit. It's Bradford with Arnold. Doing really well in terms of defence. I didn't realise that was the last tackle then, Luca. That was pretty decent work. The boys will be happy with that one. To say they've not done much goal line defence in this one, to be producing something like that, they've got to be happy.
Yeah, they'll be, like you mentioned, they'll be just as keen to keep it to a 0 as anything. And they've done well there. Yeah, from Bradford's point of view, as I keep repeating myself, they're in a decent bit of field position. Let's see if they can get in a little bit of an arm wrestle and start to make a game of this last 20 minutes or so.
Well, I was going to say there's a stoppage in play because a few players are going down with cramp. You can tell how the intensity's been so far, but Warren's back on his feet. Ruin's stretching out as well. He's clearly fine. As Angel makes the first one for Leeds. Ben Hersey gets a break. I think with that we'll see Freddie Brennan Jones come back out, but yet to be seen at the moment. As Aldridge waits at dummy half. For Lumu just stumbles to the ground. He never really set his feet. Never needed to push himself forward in the end, and Aldridge spots the smallest gap that he could find, but it'll do for the hooker to get his way through. Edgel. It's a real good hit up there on Brennan Jones. Manages to keep his feet. Could have offloaded as well. And then gets it to Morgan, who lashes it towards the Bradford 10. It's picked up well by the fullback, who's... It's not Billy Jowett anymore. It's Todd Horner that's gone to replace him. We've seen him do a little bit of action so far. Camden finds a little gap out of dummy half, and it's still waiting again. Lawford. Adams, who's coming off that edge, just looking for some work to do. In the middle of the park. Tell the game's hitting a little bit of a lull at the minute. That's nice though from Camden, just going out, searching, seeing what he can find, almost trying to create a gap if he can. And there's Ackroyd on the last, goes high. Smith's underneath it, does well to take it. And down goes under the pressure of two. And this is where Bradford can really start building up momentum, and that pressure, like you were saying, Luke, that could at least get him a point and take away that donut, that 0.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's probably something to build on for the rest of the season. You know, it's been a pretty poor start to the game so far. But if they string together 10-20 minutes of decent play, it's something to build off. And equally for Leeds, it'll do them better going forward to be in a little bit of a contest for a bit.
Absolutely, that's what we like to. What we say. Offside. Morgan on the ground. Just had a little bit of a sting. Hersey straight back out there. Toby Warren who's had a good spell, especially in the second half in the early stages. So Bradford with the penalty puts them just over halfway and just by the barest of margins. Lawford gets the game restarted. It's Lachlan Holmes playing that ball. There's Arnold, who's one player that has definitely worked hard for Bradford, but loses the ball under the pressure from Littlewood. And well-deserved claps on the backs there from the Leeds boys. We'll be happy with that one, Luca.
He had a bit of a battle, and Arnold for Bradford has put a couple nice shots on himself, so it's Leeds will be happy to get one back over him.
Scrum down, 40 out. A few players just receiving a bit of treatment. I said about players cramping up earlier. There's a few more that have just been seen by the Rhinos team. Nothing too serious. They're still out there and willing to play on. So, with the scrum feed now. Gibbons, not seen much in this second half, Joe. But, nevertheless, always a man who likes to carry the ball forward, never backward. Aldridge for Brennan Jones. Over halfway, pushed back. That won't upset the prop forward as Aldridge shows a bit of pace. Like he has done, he's been very energetic in this second half. As play stopped again. I don't know why the referee, oh yeah, there we go. It is just a boot. So, shortly back underway. Leeds like saying possession on the last tackle. We'll come to Morgan on this right edge. Prepared to run it with Edgell, who tries to take 2 on, takes it to ground, and that'll be turnover ball. Nothing to be gained much from a kick there, Luca. It was trying to have a bit of a play where they can run it about and give Edgell, see what he could open up on that side. There must have been something there that Morgan saw.
Yeah, maybe just chancing it arm a little bit, see if they can come up with a bit of something. They're experimenting at this stage in the game with the scoreline as it is. Well, defend D up.
15 minutes left on the clock. Thereabouts as Arnold barrels his way in. It forces Camden to kick out a dummy half. He's looking to turn Leeds over back by their own try line. Edgell will do so. Shapes and goes himself, takes it to ground. And forces the error from Bradford. Now we're getting to see a bit more of that arm wrestle that we thought we might have seen in that first half. This is a bit better from the Bulls now.
Yeah, I think we've got that opportunity. And see how we do under pressure, fatigue setting in a little bit at this stage of the game, and it'll be a good test for them.
He's not been afraid, has he, Tony Smith, to make those changes and roll those substitutes out, which of course at the scoreline as it is, he's saying, well, you probably might as well do that. But maybe that's just offset the Leeds rhythm a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's more just a matter of how clean we've been so far. I think we've been really good with it. Maybe something like that's inevitable at this stage in the year, and maybe just a simple error crept in there, but nothing to worry about too much.
Well, at the same time, it's giving those guys the chance to get some well-deserved game time while, although they might not be selected for first team or waiting on the academy to start, they could still get in. As Bradford with the opportunity, it's Skur. Just short. Leeds' defence really working hard to keep him out here. Lawford. Step back from Gill. Rolls out the tackle of Aldridge and gets a set restart for the Bulls. This is more like it. Ball over the top. Just not brilliant for Myers, but to try and create something that he can. Gets it then out for his winger, Mackenzie Skur. 10 away, Bradford. There's Arnold. Turns his back. 5 out now. Leeds' defence holding strong as it can. As that ball just let go to ground by Camden. Lawford says, I'll pick it up and have a go myself, see what I can make. Nothing on. That's Camden at dummy half. Goes himself for the try. Ooh, it's hit the post pad. If that hadn't been the posts there, I think he would have got over, and then he knocks on the ball. It was a good test for the Leeds defence, but really, Bradford were thinking why they didn't come away with points there.
Yeah, tested the past again. They've scrambled well. It wasn't the prettiest at all time, but goal line D is never going to be, especially with a set restart that we're giving halfway through the set. But yeah, I think Leeds will be pretty happy. Maybe a little bit unfortunate for my mate Camden there. Hopefully he's all right if he's collided with the upright.
He's getting a bit of treatment, but is it a case of you just got to do what you've got to do to stop him in goal line?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously the systems and everything in place to try to do that as in as good a way possible. But sometimes your number's short, people are blowing, and it does become a little bit of a scramble, and you've just got to work. Just got to work to cover that space.
Getting all the insight. It's great to have Luca alongside us, giving us that inside line on the reserves action. And so Toby Warren preparing to get himself back out on the park. For these final 10 minutes or so. Yeah, hopefully things all good with Camden. He's been taken off by the Bradford trainers. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for the young man, like Luca said. He's off at the back of the in goal. So Leeds with the scrum feed. Morgan, ball in hand. This is how he likes to be. Oh, a bit of a trickery play. Thought when it was Leon Ruin out there, I wonder what was happening there. But interesting play from these young Rhinos. They've earned the right, I guess, to throw the ball around, looking at the scoreline as it is. Jack Smith influential there too. Now Riley Lump. Over the 40, found his front, want that quick play. Bailey Aldridge is clapping his hands. He wants the ball in his hands. Give it to him. He's now Nicholson Watton. Turns his back over halfway. Aldridge again. It's demanding that pace, that speed that's going to catch the Bulls out, hopefully. Brennan Jones. Another player that played very well for the Rhinos last year. Aldridge again. Field. Been quiet, but deadly effective in this second half. Ollie Field, as Edgell manages to get the ball back inside. A little bit of off-the-cuff play from the Rhinos if they can. And Gibbons kicks ahead. Will he chase it himself? No. Just short. And it's well taken in the head by Todd Horner. Simple take. So back to basics for Bradford to try get the ball out of their own half. Mackenzie Skur chiming in with that carry. And waits for Scully, who runs from deep, tries to break that Rhinos line, but Brennan Jones does really well. Nicholson Watton in there too. Toby Warren. There's now Gill, just shy of halfway. They've got their eyes on the kicker now. It's fifth tackle. And they're going to decide to run it as Ackroyd gets the ball wide. Let's see what Bradford can make. Skur is well caught up. In the end, it's a haphazard kick across field. What's Ben Littlewood got in the... He's definitely got defensive ability, that's what we know. And covers quite well there. I think for a second, Ben would have been thinking he was going to have to catch that ball.
Yeah, obviously the Bradford man got there first. It's a smart play. Secure the ball, it's last tackle, and it's quite sharp between the ears from the man.
With Aldridge. Fulham. Nice carry again from the winger to get himself over the 40. Leeds, it's been really effective in making meters during their sets. Something I'm assuming that Smith will be very happy with at the moment, as Hersey, Horde, out on that edge. That's a little fend. Gets himself over halfway. Aldridge is waiting at dummy half yet again. For Warren, tries it for Field, tries a little double pump and offloads then for Brennan Jones on the angle. It's a quick play of the ball. Edgell now with ball in hand, chips and chases ahead. There's a bit of speed out on that edge now, but Bradford not caught out like they were earlier. It's now a similar kick got put in. They got a lot. There's a bit of a mix-up and ended up in a Sinfield try. Well, we've not had anything since that last Sinfield try. It seems like a while ago. But it just shows how much this game's levelled out. And with 10 minutes to go, Luke, I think now's a good opportunity to ask for your man of the match. There's a couple of boys out there that have caught the eye. Anyone that's... Are you asking for two?
Yeah, give me 2 minutes, Dan. I'll have a think and I'll get back to you.
There's a couple of good performances on both sides of the ball. More though for the Rhinos looking at that scoreline. But Bradford coming forward. As I would have said with Lawford, a knock on, which prevents anything from developing, and a simple turnover. To the team in navy blue and white, the 2023 colours. There's now Gibbons. Carry over halfway. I've got the nod from Luca to say he's got his man of the match. He's nailed it down to the one. As Field. Good run from Hersey Horde. Can he get the ball away? No. If he'd got an offload away, that would have been a perfect opportunity for the second rower. Now Aldridge dabs it in behind, trying to test Horner. In the end, hits the deck. And I think now's a good chance, Luca, for you to say your name, as we've got a little stoppage in play, a Bulls player left in back play. Who's your man of the match?
Yeah, I think there's been a few. Well, the majority of the team. I think they've been great, but I'm going to give it to Corey Johnson. I think particularly in that first half, opening the game, I thought they were fantastic, and just a reminder to everyone what he's capable of.
Absolutely no arguments from me, mate. A player that, like Luca says, despite his injury, or recent injury, he's coming back showing just what he is exactly capable of and why he's one of the upcoming hookers in Super League. As Arnold looks for the pass, he was adamant he wanted to pass that ball. In the end, he had to from the Bulls really anywhere close and wanted to come up with him. There's now Lawford kicking from deep, 40 metres out from his own line. Smith with the easy take. And now they can throw the ball around Leeds with Edgell. Bringing it back. It's been a convincing, a clinical performance. You can watch all the post-match reaction from this game live on the Rhinos YouTube channel now. Get a catch up as well on the Twitter. And don't forget as well, you can watch all highlights, full games from a few as well, of reserves, under 18s, first team women's. Do not miss a minute by subscribing to the Leeds Rhinos YouTube channel now. As Morgan for Robinson. Another that's, I think, actually been in my shout for definitely in player of the match, Ashton Robinson. He's been really convincing.
Yeah, I'll give him a special mention, mate. I think he has been great. As I mentioned, the areas he's worked on, it's been fantastic tonight. But more than anything, his physicality, for his size, in the most respectful way possible. He's maybe not the most intimidating, but as soon as you're involved in that first contact with him, I think you know what he's all about. And with a few things he's done tonight, I think you've seen exactly that.
I think on special mentions, we will of course mention Ben Hersey, who, like I say, has been on those sidelines for quite a long time. He's been absolutely chomping at the bit to get out there, and like yourself last year, it's just a relief to get going again.
Yeah, definitely. He come up from London, and all last year he unfortunately had a serious injury at the very end of pre-season, and while we were both injured together, I've been through all rehab with him, and we've become very close. So it's good to see him get out of that rehab group and get on the field again.
And for many more this year, many more for yourself, like we've already said, once we see you back out on the park. For either Castleford away, which is next up for the reserves, or Hull KR as well, those two coming up before they return to Headingley to take on Hull FC. Be a game that you'll got to be highlights, full match coverage as well. So again, you do not miss a moment. As Leeds getting the penalty, Morgan will safely kick over the sideline. So maybe a couple of last opportunities here for Leeds, but it's been thorough as it is. It's a 40-point margin. I'll be happy with how it's gone. As Littlewood finds his front. Aldridge for Morgan. Now Robinson. Twists, turns, finds his front again. Quick play of the ball as well. That's what Bailey Aldridge has wanted. Now the referee's pulled him up there for an incorrect play of the ball. Going too quick. But I think he'd be caught in a trap there because Aldridge, especially in the last 10-15 minutes, has been wanting that ball played very quickly. Robinson's just done just that.
Yeah, I think as a hooker you do, and as a team you do. You always want to try to achieve as quick a play the ball as possible, and Ashton maybe just try to push his luck a little bit there, and unfortunately got pinned for it.
So Bradford, ball in hand. Can they take that 0 away from their name before full time? There's Arnold. Shapes again and takes it up into the tackle of Brennan Jones. Now Gray. The ball moving nicely now, Bradford. Scully loses the ball in the tackle. Referee says play on, and it's right at London's one to recover. Leeds again under the pump for not the first time in this second period. Bradford have had a couple of half chances. Like Luca just had a good tackle from Robinson, stopping him on that play. As Ackroyd with the little chip kick was in the air for Jowett, who was taken in the tackle. And I think that's possibly game, set and match Luca with Leeds now with the hands back on the ball. A convincing performance to say the least.
Yeah, great first out. Plenty to build on. A few work-ons, but overall something that I think we will be very happy with.
How have you found out Tony having worked with Tony now for the duration of pre-season, do you think he'll be gunning for the rest of the season and want both the reserves academy guys to show a bit more in the weeks to come?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's natural as soon as you step into the kind of the Leeds Rhinos outfit. There's a lot expected of you, and at the same time, you're hungry yourself. As soon as you put on that badge, you think you know what it stands for, and you know what you're demanding and expected to be able to do. So yeah, they'll be keen going forward, and I'm expecting a big year ahead.
It's going to be a big, exciting year for all our Rhinos teams, and in particular our young Rhinos. As Scully just slow to get up. Worried Bradford because they've lost a couple of players in this second half, especially to injury. They won't want to lose any more. So just waiting on the restart. The referee finally gets it going. Smith with the first carry. Now Lum, those outside backs work really hard in this game, Luke. That's got to be a point, hasn't it? How Ryder Lum, Jack Smith, Lewis Roberts, Gibbons, they've all contributed to the effort.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a common thing you'll probably see. Joe Gibbons looks to create.
Oh, so close. He's always up for chances, isn't he, Joe? He'll always try and create something where he can.
Yeah, I think that's one thing about the speed he has got. As soon as he does see that half chance, he knows he can capitalise.
He nearly did there as well. Another solid performance from him out in the centres. Bradford with the scrum feed. 35 out. It's Lawford. You can see them shifting nicely. Scully keeping the ball going for Mackenzie Skur. Twists down at the 20, and the referee's going to pull this one back. You have to play the ball again. There's Jowett. Rides a tackle of 2 towards the 10. The Bulls with Lawford. Get the ball moving. Ackroyd, nice play here from Bradford. Dabber, kick behind. Is there anything on? Smith does all he can. Bats it out of play. And a late search here by Bradford. Get themselves a drop out. So last little bit of pressure for Leeds to overcome. It's Morgan who it's a bit shorter than what I think he'd wanted, but Adams with the pickup. Ackroyd moving the ball through the hands nicely, nice and quickly, gets it through 2 players' hands in a matter of seconds. For now feeding Arnold. 10 metres out again, Bradford. Opportunity on as ever. There's Jowett. Short ball. Tries to keep the ball moving and does so. Decided not to go against going out towards a wing. Cut back inside. There's Gill. Twists his back. Now on the last, Bradford. Out of dummy half. Where are they going to go with this one? Ackroyd dabs it into the same area again, and Jack Smith is there again. Back-to-back dropouts now for the Rhinos. What an end to this game. Who's all this pressure coming from Bradford? They're finally coming back into it.
Yeah, but I've been saying it all along. It's only going to do us good in the long run. That little bit of a test at this stage of the game, especially in the 78th minute or whatever it is. To be put under the pump and still keep them to the 0. It's a great test, and it's again something to build off.
There are a couple of stoppages, and that's why we're going on a little bit longer. And a back to 1 as well for Bradford. Lawford. Just to push it, but probably the wise option to take the tackle, given that it is back to 1 for the visitors here at Stanley. As metres shy of the line. No, that will do us. I thought they might get another play in, but that will do us. Full time here at Stanley. Leeds Rhinos 48, Bradford Bulls reserves 0.